Dyers Daily.
So this episode is going to be part of something that I think I'm going to call Thinking Friday. Now, as time goes on, the title might change, but I'm sure that the whole thing behind it won't. Okay, so I want to tell you really what's going through my mind right now, this second, as I'm recording this, right? So basically, I took a little bit of a break from this podcast simply because there's a lot of work doing 5 days a week, and I felt like it wasn't quite reaching the heights that perhaps it could. We tried adding video, that was kind of a little bit too much for too little, and we tried lots of different things. We tried ads at the beginning and all that sort of thing. And then I thought to myself, what was the sole purpose of doing this podcast in the first place? Was it because we wanted, I wanted to get more kind of more prolific, I suppose, more podcast episodes out there, wham, 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 wham? Or was it because I wanted to talk about things that were on my mind without the constraints of this podcast is about TV or this podcast is about Brexit? You know, I wanted something that was free-flowing, where you could listen to different episodes and get different subjects, different things, because guess what? Life is not one subject, is it? It's a multitude of different things, different questions, different things, and I know some people will be hoping that I talk about Brexit just so that they can shout at me, but guess what? I'm not going to do that. That's one rule that I've always made with my talk radio stuff, is less on the Brexit, you know? Less it down, because I'm also one of those people that likes things to be kind of timeless in a way. You know, I listen to stuff from the 1940s that still sounds relatively new, because most of it's not mentioning anything that's remotely topical. Okay, some of the styling's a little bit dated, but the actual inner human things are fairly real. So, to be honest, I try and avoid Brexit as much as I can, and I'm sure you, as a listener, would kind of thank me for doing that, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and that's what I wanted the show to be. I wanted it to be something that was free and easy, you know, that kind of goes along the line of some broadcasters who I believe don't get the recognition they deserve. People like Ian Lee, for example, who, to be honest, apart from when people ring up just to annoy him talking about Brexit and sometimes sport, he will go off into all these different tangents and not mention Brexit once, because it's his show, to me, is the pinnacle of radio. It's like you're in the world, you're there, you're enjoying yourself, and you're just going along for the ride, you know, and it's happy, it's joyous, it's celebrating life. That's why they call it what's it called? Oh yes, the late night alternative. And that's exactly what it is. It's an alternative to everyone spouting about Brexit or what the Prime Minister said or what Jeremy Corbyn said or something like that. And that is exactly what I aim to do with this podcast, is be that not alternative, because I don't want to be seen as copying Ian Lee, but I want to kind of make it into a free thing. So if you're scrolling down and you see a multitude of different subjects that are sort of on the same line but are different, then please don't think I've gone crazy. It's just what the podcast is, because life is not one subject or one feeder. It's lots of different things that kind of go throughout life, you know. And I'm sorry if I've been a little bit rambly in this podcast, but I thought, you know what, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so Fridays, when I release a podcast, this is what it's going to consist of. Me telling you exactly what I'm thinking right now. And I'm thinking that the podcast needs to be something that's free and easy, because I've been trying to put it into a box and constrain. And do you know what? It doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. I think, to be honest, it will be better in the long term when it's a lot freer and a lot more out there. And I'm sure you as a listener will thank me in the long term for it being in that vein. Right, now I've got that off my chest. Have a great weekend, all.
Dyers Daily.
Thank you very much for listening to Dyers Daily. Please be sure to subscribe to Dyers Daily on YouTube as well as on your favourite podcast provider. Oh, and while you're there, please rate and comment as well. You can also email us dyersdaily@southwavesaudio.co.uk if you have any messages for the show. Thank you very much for listening once again. My name is Jamie Dyer and I shall see you on the next podcast. Have a great day. This is a South Waves Audio production.